In this video, we're going to check out the K3 Pod Lights from Mictuning.
What's up YouTube? How's it going? And welcome back to the Evolved Jeeping channel. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another new product from Mictuning. If you have never heard of the brand Mictuning before, basically they are an off-road lighting brand that has actually been in the market for quite some time, and they have a wide variety of lighting products available that can be used on a Jeep Wrangler or any off-road vehicle you may have. Mictuning is not necessarily as well known as, say, Baja Designs or Rigid, but it doesn't mean they don't offer high quality products. And in fact, because they aren't as well known, it actually means they can offer high quality products at lower price points because they don't have the brand name effect that increases pricing. If you want to get more details about Mictuning, what I suggest is you click on the link right here, which will take you to their website, and you can check out all of the products they do have available and the upcoming things they are working on. I have actually had the opportunity to work with Mictuning before. About a year ago, they sent me their RGB rock lights that I actually went ahead and installed on my Jeep Wrangler. And I have to say, after installing them, testing them out, and using them for the last year, I was highly impressed by the quality of the product and the way it performed. Because I was impressed by the product, I actually figured this year that I would reach out to them again to see if they had any products available that I could create another video on to show you guys what they're all about. And of course, because they are a lighting company and lighting companies are always developing new things, they did have some products for me to choose from. And the product that we're going to be showing today and showing you guys what it is the K3 rock lights. These are one of their newer products, and they go for about $200 when they're not on sale. And they're actually available in two different lighting options. You can get them as a floodlight, or you can get them as a spot driving light. What's really cool about these lights is not only do they have the main feature built in them, but they also have a secondary RGB LED light built into them that actually gives you the ability to do some colored backlighting where you can actually choose from a variety of colors to give a cool effect. So it's really cool because not only do they have their main performance light, which is to give you brightness down the road, but they also give you the option to colorize the light when you're, on a trail, parked, or whatever you may be doing at night. So really cool that it has dual functions to do it, because that is actually something that a lot of people are looking for in the modern day. Our plan for today's video is to go ahead and show you guys what these lights are all about, show you how they perform, how they function, as well as we're also going to show you guys how to install them, because we are going to go ahead and install them in my 2019 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, aka the Harlequin. So we're going to show you that process. Before we can go ahead and do that, we actually have to go ahead and flip this camera around, because we need to go ahead and unbox this to show you guys what these lights come with and what we're going to need to do the installation. So let's go ahead, flip the camera around, and see what's in the box. As you can see, guys, I've gone ahead and actually unboxed the item. The reason is because it's going to be easier for me to show you all the components. But before I do that, I actually want to go over the packaging for this item, because I think this is an important part to the product. What I really like is that Mictuning actually went ahead and did a full color printed box. They went ahead and put an image of the product on the front, so you have a close-up image, then you have images of the product on a vehicle. I really like that it's got the name of the product, of course, like it's needed. And then they actually went ahead and listed out three main features. You got your multicolor, adjustable angles, and ultra bright. And of course, to complete the packaging, they also included their logo and a slogan. So really like that they've done that. I also like that they went ahead and did a full color print, because it gave them options to add more images. For example, on this side, they have two more images, which actually list two different light types. So you have the floodlight type, which you can see the difference is the lens, and then you have the driving light, which you can see the lens is almost smooth. as you can see, this one's been checked off because the light we're going to be installing is the floodlight version, because I'm hoping to possibly use this as a fog light, but we'll have to see if that's going to actually work. But yeah, it's cool to see that they have this so they can check off, they can use the same packaging for different lights and tell you which one's inside. And of course, because they're doing full print, they also have options for different features to be listed on the side. Here, they pointed out the main feature about the RGB light and showed you some different color options that are available. So really cool there. And then because, again, full color print, they actually have more images on the back, which show different images of the product and a different close-up image of this version. So that actually is the floodlight version, where the front one is the driving light. So it's cool that they're showing both of those. And of course, to finish it off, on one side, they also have all their company information, contact information, website, labels, and then of course, made in China. I really like this packaging because, for a couple of reasons. First, this could actually be used in a retail space. So if you wanted to be a wholesaler for Mictuning, you could actually go ahead and put their products on a shelf and a person could actually know what's inside the box without having to take out the product. Second, because it is in this digital printed and full printed packaging, if you were to give this as a gift to someone, they would actually be able to know what's inside the box without having to open it, unlike some of those Amazon boxes where you have to open it fully just to understand what it is. So really like that they went ahead and spent the extra money to do that. So now that we've gone through the packaging, let's take a look at the components. So the first component is the main one, which is the light. So we have two lights, and these lights are made of, I believe, a cast aluminum is what I read online, and they've been nicely painted, which I have to say looks really good. There's no imperfections that I see. Everything's really clean and high quality. On the lenses, as I mentioned, these are the flood version. So you can see there is a texture on the lenses, which is hoped to disperse the light out. The ring around the lights there is going to be used for the RGB. So that's going to be the illumination. Can't wait to see what that turns out to be. One cool thing about these lights is on the sides, they actually have a single LED light on each side with a reflector. So they have one there and one there, because these lights are designed to project light out the sides as well as forward. So it's almost like a forward-facing and side-facing light. So really cool to see that. This is a two-piece shell, so there is a front and a back. And on the back, you can see that it is connected and bolted together with, looks like 6 different Allen key bolts. Hopefully, we'll never have to take those apart. So that's hopefully just something that's used for assembly. On the back here, we do have our heat dispersion fins, which are designed to disperse the heat from the light to keep it cool and to keep it functioning. On the back, we do have a 3-prong plug connection, which is really nice because it means that we can easily disconnect the lights from the wiring harness and service them if needed without having to remove the entire harness. So I like that. On the sides, we have 2 screw holes. I believe these hold the brackets that attach to the light. One is going to be to secure the bracket, and the other one is going to be for angle adjustment. So as mentioned, we have 2 of these lights. So 1, 2, and then of course you're going to have 2 brackets. So the brackets are designed to go around the light just like that. And on the brackets, you're going to have 2 points to locate them, and then the main tie-down bolt in the middle. And of course, with those brackets, you're also going to have the hardware, which is 2 large screws, and then 4 little screws with some washers, and even an Allen key to secure everything in place. And then what's really cool about the lights is the lights also come with a complete wiring harness. So to start, on one end of the wiring harness, you have your 3-prong plug connections, which are designed to go in the back of the light. So we have 2 of those. So those run together, they split, and then come into a single wire. Then you come up to this relay, which is nice to see the system come with a relay. A lot of the systems don't, so it's nice to see a relay in place. And then from the relay, we have our power supply and ground supply. And what's also really nice is on the power supply, we have a fuse, which is, let's see what size fuse it is. It looks like it's a 10 amp fuse. And then on the other end of this wiring harness, we have our plug connection. So we have a plug here with 2 switches. One looks like a main light switch and the other one is an RGB. So it'll be interesting to see how those work. What I really like about the switch piece is they also did put a connection in there, which should make it easier for fishing this through the firewall, because a lot of the wiring harness is going to be inside the engine bay, but that part is going to be inside the cap. So now that we know what all the components are in this kit, let's jump over to the next thing. The next part of the video is to install the lights and the wiring harness. But before I can actually go ahead and do that, I actually have to go ahead and test out the beam pattern of the lights. The reason I need to test out the beam pattern is because that's going to help me determine where I'm going to mount it. I actually have 2 different options for mounting. The first option is to mount it on my overrider bar on the rival bumper. So the idea would be to place one here or here, and then the other one on the other side. This is not the best location, as I'm not necessarily a fan of the way it looks, but it is an option. The other option, which is the one I'm hoping for, is to actually take the light and mount it on my Gatekeeper steerable knuckles that you see right there. The idea would be to replace their light with the new K3s and use it as a fog light. But again, guys, this is all going to depend on if the beam pattern of this light is acceptable to use as a fog light. If for some reason the light is not acceptable and the scatter effect is just too much, then I'm probably not going to mount it in my fog light. And that means the only location I'm going to be mounting on today is on the bumper. Again, guys, not a super fan of this, so this is probably just going to be a temporary solution. If I am going to use these lights as just a normal light, like mounting on the bumper, I actually might go ahead and purchase some A-pillar lights so that I can eventually mount them here. But again, guys, that was down the road. For now, our 2 options are on the bumper or on the steerable knuckle. So what we're going to do to test this out is we're actually going to go ahead and pop the hood, temporarily wire up the wiring harness, plug it in to see what the beam pattern turns out to be. So guys, overall, the light pattern of this light is actually pretty clean. As you can see, I've got it projected on this concrete wall. And if I rotate the light, which is not the way you would use it, but you can actually see how limited scatter there is. So on the top side, barely any, and on the bottom we do have a little, but that's okay because we want the top side to be the cleanest. And because of this, it actually means that we can use this light as a fog light. Yes, this light is not SAE approved, but based on the pattern and the almost crisp line, I could easily run this as fog lights because it shouldn't affect oncoming drivers. So what that means is I don't have to put it on my bumper and I can keep the nice look, and I can go ahead and install it on my steerable knuckles. So what we're going to go ahead and do is disconnect the light and the wiring harness. Then we're going to go ahead and show you the steps to install this and mount the light up.
Using 2 of the small Allen key bolts, lock washer, and washers, we're going to secure the bracket to the back of the light. You want to make sure that when you are doing this, that the light is positioned the correct way. The top side of the light is the part with the horizontal lines on the lens. All you're going to do is take the bolt and the washers and attach it to the side of the light, security in place with the provided Allen key. You do want to tighten this, but not tighten it fully, because you are going to need to adjust the light once you have the light installed on the Jeep. Next, using the larger provided hardware, you're going to secure the light and its bracket in the mounting location on your vehicle. Once you've got the lights mounted in the desired location, the next part is to run the wiring harness and connect it to the back of the battery. For the wiring harness, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is run the wires in the desired path up into the engine bay. Once inside the engine bay, you're going to place the relay in a safe location. Then you're going to run the switch wire through to the firewall so that the switch can be on the inside of the cab. After you've completed running those wires, the last part is to simply connect the power and the ground to the battery.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up.
So guys, as you can see, the light is installed and functioning perfectly. I hope that little montage I put together gave you a good understanding of how the light performs and looks in both the day and the night. Overall, the installation of this light was super easy to do and super straightforward, and that is mainly due to the fact that the light came with a complete wiring harness, which made it an easy plug-and-play installation that anyone could do on any vehicle. The hardest part of the installation was probably running the switch wire in through the firewall so that I could have the switch inside the cab. The reason this was probably the hardest part is because the plug that connects the switch is a little bit big and a little bit challenging to get through small holes in the firewall. Besides this minor little thing, everything else was simple to do. All I had to do was connect the power and the ground to a power source, fire it up, and it was good to go. The only thing I do want to mention, and it kind of has to do with the design of the wiring harness and the way they've intended you to install this, is that this system was designed to connect directly to the battery, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is something you have to remember. What you need to remember is that the light is consistently connected to a battery supply source, which means that when you turn off your vehicle, the light will not turn off, and you have to remember to turn off the light separately so that it doesn't drain your battery. If you want to avoid this from happening, there's a few things you could do. First, what you could do is take the power source and tap it into an auxiliary fuse on your vehicle, and then when you turn off your vehicle, the light will also turn off. The other option is you can also go ahead and use a switch panel like a switch pod or an XK Glow switch panel and simply tap the power sources into that switch panel so that when your vehicle turns off, that will also turn off the light. This isn't really a big thing to worry about, but it is something to remember because in the event that you do leave the light on for a long period of time, it will eventually drain your battery and you'll be stuck with a vehicle that won't start. So it is something to remember. Besides that minor little thing, maybe a little adjustment I would make, overall, still really easy to install and definitely a pleasure to do. So with that aside, let's talk about the performance and the features of the light. I feel that the main light was actually pretty good. I don't think it's super bright, but I also don't think it's poor. I think the light is just right. And obviously, guys, I am probably losing a little bit of light performance because of the location I've mounted it. Probably either the tire or the bumper behind me is blocking a little bit of light. So I'm probably not getting the full performance from the light. But even with that, I still am really happy about the way the light is projecting and how much more light output I do have in front of the vehicle. I do want to remind you guys that this is the flood version. And what I really liked about the flood version was the light pattern. I love how it had a nice crisp line along the top, which gave me the ability to run this as a fog light, even though they are not SEA approved.
So I got to pause this right here because I actually have an update. After testing this light out in the garage and at night, I realized the cutoff for this light is really not that sharp. And as you can see here on the wall, there's a lot of scattered light above the cutoff, which in my opinion is not that good to use these lights as fog lights because it's going to be scattering some light into other drivers' eyes. And I just didn't want to be that person. So in the end, I probably won't be using these lights as fog lights and I might be looking for a different solution. So I might in the end be moving these lights to a different location on the Jeep in the future. So let's resume the video. But remember guys, I might not be necessarily running these lights as fog lights.
I would be really intrigued to find out what the spotlight light pattern is because I'd like to compare to see the difference. Maybe somebody will post a video of that soon, but it's really cool. I'm really happy about the flood version. I like the light output, but it'd be cool to see how that spotlight one compares. As for the second light, which is the RGB light, this is a pretty cool light. And I'm definitely impressed that they added this into the light because this is something that a lot of people are looking for when they're buying off-road lights, because a lot of people want to have the ability to put this accent light up at night so that they can show the accent color of their Jeep. For myself, I could care less about this. I think it's cool, but it's definitely not something I'm looking for. For myself, I'm all about performance, so it's either brightness or functionality. If this light had actually had a dual function where I could turn on an amber light, that would have been something I really would have been looking for. But instead, they have the amber backlighting. Again, cool feature, and I know there's a bunch of people out there that are looking for it. What I really like about the amber or this RGB light is the way that they've designed it. So what they did is they made it so that you don't have to use any accessories like a Bluetooth phone. They made it so that the switch panel actually has a second light or second switch to control the RGB. All you have to do is press the RGB button and then it turns on the light. Then you press it again and it switches to the next color that's in the sequence. There are a bunch of colors in the sequence. I'm not sure how many, but there is one special light in there that is a color changing option, which is the one you see right here, where it simply transitions from color to color based on the order that they're in the system. I think this is a really cool thing that they just added in, and it's really cool that you don't need any programming to make it work. One thing that's also really cool about the way they designed it is that the RGB text on that button is actually its own LED, and it is connected to the color of the LED that's being displayed on the outside. This is really cool because it means that you can change the color of that light from inside your cab and know exactly what light it is displaying. This is just a really good example that shows that Mictuning is designing their products for their users and making it easy for them to use. Because if we didn't have that light and we had to simply press that and then come outside to see what color, that would be a really annoying thing to have to do. So it's really nice to see that they included that little feature in the switch panel. So guys, overall, I'm pretty impressed by this light. I think for its price point, the features that are available, it's a really good product. Again, guys, this goes for $200. That is the listed regular price, but typically you will find these products on sale on the Mictuning website, so you can definitely score yourself a deal. If you are interested in this light, I will put a link below that you can click on to check it out for yourself. If you are interested in purchasing this or any of the other Mictuning products that they have on their website, you can actually use the code EvolvedJeeping to save yourself another 15% off your order. So make sure to head over to their website and use that code to save yourself some extra money. At this point, guys, I don't really have much more to say. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them below and I'll do the best to answer them. I hope that you did enjoy this video, and then I hope you found this video very useful, because I know for myself, when it comes to LED off-road lighting, there are so many brands in the market and so many products that it's really hard to figure out which products you should be buying for your Jeep Wrangler or for your off-road builds. So again, hope this video was helpful, informative, and I hope you got a good understanding of what products the Mictuning brand has to offer. Again, head over to their website and check out some of the other products they have available. They have rock lights, whip lights, more accessory lights, big lights, small lights. They have so much to offer. Again, guys, I got nothing else to say on today's video, so please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Keep evolving, and we'll see you guys on the next video.